It's the late 1940s. You're on a flight to visit your family on the East Coast. As you soar across the New Mexico landscape, the plane rocks hard to the side.
Captain speaking, we are experiencing some turbulence.
You swear you saw something flash past your window, but it was too fast to tell. It existed in the blink of an eye. The plane steadies itself, and the stewardesses seem a bit shaken, but nothing else is said about the flight from the crew. That is until a memo is sent to J. Edgar Hoover, informing him of the unidentified aircraft that buzzed the aircraft at the speed of 2,700 miles an hour. The memo stresses that not only is this event an unidentified aircraft, these events have been happening every day that month.
There's something on the wing.
Isn't that spooky? It's every day. It's regular. It's on the reg. Sorry, I'm terrible doing the intro.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, I tried.
All right.
Aaron, I was like, Aaron, hey, dude, why don't you let me take a crack at one of the fun narrative intros you had? And then the story I picked for today's Paranoia Shop is not boring, but straightforward government details.
You picked a government document.
I wrote a story around the government document.
Scary.
No, listen. All right, we'll jump in it. Welcome to Paranoia Shop.
Welcome to Paranoia Shop.
Your one-stop source for all things spooky. Is that what our tagline is?
Your one-stop shop for all things conspiracy, paranormal, and weird. Where we'll probably make fun of them all. I am Aaron Waltke.
I'm Chad Quant, and we're joined by a very special guest.
Very special guest. Founder of Crab Cat Industries, a star of Heroes of Cosplay on SyFy channel, an all-around creature creator and great person.
And enemy of the Reapers.
Enemy of Reapers everywhere.
Commander Holly Conrad.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
So, Holly, we've been wanting to get you on the show for a while, but we brought you on especially for this show because today, and if it's not kind of obvious from my terrible intro, aliens, unidentified spooky things in the sky.
Are they among us? Have they been among us?
I'm doing the hands, if you can't see them.
Doing mystical hands. Please just imagine Holly
just wiggling fingers.
Like aliens' hands, yeah. No, yeah, I know I have a unholy amount of knowledge about UFOs and aliens, and I've been researching them ever since I was a kid, pretty much. So.
Sure. A lot of people have very strong feelings one way or the other about aliens. You know, we can get into this in later episodes, but there are some topics that are obviously tied to deeply held, like, spiritual beliefs, like, you know, ghosts, like that means there's an afterlife. But with aliens, there's a very strong scientific community that also believes in aliens. Just from a sheer statistical standpoint, the likelihood of us being the only life in the universe is really small. Like, it's kind of arrogant to think that we're the only ones.
Out of all the conspiracy theories, it's probably the one that's most likely besides skunk ape.
Chemtrails?
Besides chemtrails. Chemtrails are totally real. I saw them in my sprinkler. There was rainbow
There's
water.
rainbow water.
Oh, my God.
What are they putting in the water?
Well, can I explain why I picked what I did? If it's your first time listening to the show, we like to try to bring different stuff that we've all researched. Holly's just lived it. Holly's just lived the life.
I have the stories.
She traversed the universe with her alien pals.
Aaron and I are not lucky enough to know
knowledge
that.
Back.
To know that alien touch, to have someone bring us up to their spaceship and touch our butthole. But
in not a non-sexual way.
Yeah, so we all and not,
always sexual with aliens. I mean, come on.
Yeah, what if an alien just brought you up in their spaceship and they're like, I just want to check your prostate. It's just wanted like
you might want to get those polyps checked out.
And it's a really good program. Thank you.
Thank you, alien.
You were like
have
a month
my
away.
spleen.
I wanted to try to find the most clear evidence from the government that they acknowledged aliens.
Or unidentified flying objects.
Unidentified flying objects. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. More likely they're going to be UFOs because very rarely is there a government memo that says, yeah, I was just at a Hardee's and an alien just walked in and we hung out for a while. So usually more of like we're acknowledging something strange in the air.
He was eating his Starburger and he let us take tissue samples to confirm that he's not made with deoxyribonucleic acid.
Well, one of the ones I picked, there's a nice list of acknowledged government documents about UFOs or aliens. The one I was basing that really good short story, guys, off of was from a 1949 FBI memo sent to the desk of FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, that was about, the memo was actually called Protection of Vital Installations. So the entire document is less about, hey, UFOs are real, and more about, like, UFOs are real, we need to cover our important assets like nukes and those locations.
Interesting.
Yeah. And like UFOs, not aliens, they're UFOs. Like, we don't know if there's aliens in them.
Yeah, I guess it could be
Russians.
robots.
Yeah.
I saw someone claim that aliens are actually just time travelers.
Oh,
I think we've touched on that one. Yeah. We can't assume that all UFOs are aliens.
I guess it could just be random objects in the time stream lost and shot through, like time bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, God, aliens shooting time
Interdimensional
bullets.
beings.
Yeah.
Guys, whoa. I know, like, what if... this is like my new sci-fi series plot idea. What if UFOs are just time bullets that another race are shooting? No. Think about this. So, like, much like the intro to Power Rangers Time Force, where a giant Mechazord punches the Zord through a time portal and goes flying back to Earth. What are the things like fuck Earth, we're gonna take it out? So they're firing time bullets like through a portal, and they're missing Earth. Like every UFO is like a time bullet that would shatter us, like our planet, if it hit. We just keep missing a little
Luckily,
bit.
they're just really bad aim.
Yeah, they're just giant metal bullets.
They're just calculating in metrics when really it's inches.
But there also happens to be aliens inside the time bullets piloting them.
Yeah, but they can't control anything. They're just sitting in there.
They're just like, yeah.
Sorry, that's just my like fan fiction Doctor Who episode I'm going to write after this. One of the key statements of that 1949 FBI memo was this key statement. Army intelligence has recently said that the matter of identified aircraft or identified aerial phenomenon, otherwise known as flying discs, flying saucers, and balls of fire, is considered top secret by intelligence officers of both the Army and the Air Force. Is this like a year and a half? Like, this is early UFO stuff.
So this was what, 1949?
1949, sent to the FBI director.
When was Roswell? Same year?
I think it's in that like the year and a half after in that same ballpark time. So it's kind of cool on no matter that like the government's just kind of going, there's something weird. That's strange. We should talk about whatever these things are. Yeah. And we know that we're all calling them UFOs. We know that we're calling them like flying saucers. Mm-hmm. They didn't even try to cover it up by like just saying aerial ships.
Yeah.
If the government is acknowledging that flying saucers exist and we should do something about them, how does that jive with another conspiracy theory that I love, which I think is called Project Blue Book?
Oh, yeah. No, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a legit thing that the government put out. And I've heard different theories on that was actually a cover-up for what was actually going on to make people not look at, like, the actual evidence and just be like, oh, this is actually, like, we're investigating it, but really...
So Project Blue Book was a smokescreen, is what you're saying.
I've heard that before,
Interesting.
too. What's interesting about the government stuff is back in the 40s and 50s when this first started, the government actually did come out with more official statements, saying like, we've seen these, like, we don't know what it is. There were actually like articles like talking about it, and then the cover-up, I'm using in quotes, didn't really start until the 80s. So it didn't really start like becoming like the government just being silent. So they did talk about it in the past, but then in the 80s they just stopped talking at all.
Yeah, they were freaking enough that they were like, we don't know. We should talk. I mean, guys, obviously these memos come out later in the future, but the idea that they were just like, I don't know. Do you know what that thing was? We didn't know what that thing was. I
think like in the 80s they started like, after the 40s, and then they started knowing what either they had a ship or they either like had contact with who knows. And then
finally figured out how to turn it off and turn it back on. So that
exactly. Like an Independence Day, like Jeff Goldblum shot the can off of it and it was fine.
I think the most telling part of this, and I guess they would probably, I think no matter what, if they were a threat or not, the government would be talking about these unidentified objects no matter what. Mm-hmm. In this memo, they're bringing it up because they reference a specific incident where a commercial airline jet, this story I was telling, saw an object that almost collided with them. They basically had to like get out of the way and almost ran into another in air.
It was a jet fighter?
It was a commercial airline jet. Yeah, so just people on a plane, just going to see your family. They almost collided with an object that they estimated was going 2,700 miles per hour, which I don't know how they got that number. I don't know if that's just like one of the stewardesses seemed like 2,700 miles. I mean, I also like to think they didn't get it from radar. They just like had someone on the plane just guess.
So question, how do they know that it was like an alien object and not just a really fast goose?
Just the fastest goose?
The fastest goose alive.
You're giving Pixar a new movie idea. This is a new sequel to Turbo.
Oh, no.
Turbo 2, Goose Down.
The other part to mention of this memo specifically was that these are all in the airspace of their nukes, basically. These were all in New Mexico. We're in sensitive airspace, unknown objects in the vicinity of the Atomic Energy Commission's installation in New Mexico. So essentially, like, this is where we're testing all of our nuclear weapons, or nukes and stuff. The memo states that these had occurred throughout December 1948 on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 11th, 13th, 14th, 20th, and 28th. So just like every day, just new... A new weird thing was just flying by. So I guess you could argue that if you were cynical, you could be like, oh, well, once people started talking about it, they might start spotting more things. But that's a pretty high frequency of UFO sightings in a sensitive area, like they were just buzzing it constantly.
I've actually read a lot and actually heard a lot about UFOs showing up around nukes, around any kind of nuclear installment, all around the world, like during launches and during I've heard stories from different people that were there, in different documentaries I've watched. I can't remember their names because I've watched way too many, which says a lot about my life. But
that's how you became an expert. You made the transition.
Yeah, exactly.
Casual observer to I just have the knowledge in me now.
Well, it fits the idea that if I was an advanced alien race and I was just keeping tabs on Earth, right? You would be scared about the fact that we're developing nuclear technology. That'd be the next step. We're like, we should just
That was the plot of The Day the Earth Stood Still, wasn't it? Like, Gort comes down.
Is that the Keanu Reeves remake movie?
Well, it was remade into that.
Right.
But both of them have that plot where the aliens come down, they're like, Gort just shuts down all technology, and most of the film is just like this weird kind of Homeland-esque interrogation scene with the alien, and then finally he's like, as the alien's dying or he's getting shot or something, he's like, oh yeah, we came to tell you that you need to be careful with nuclear weapons, but since you killed me, we're just going to take away all your technology forever. See ya.
Yeah, it's the idea that there's an alien force, either I always like the idea there's a galactic police, kind of just keeping tabs on everything. That's more cool than just one
the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, kind of like the Green Lantern Corps just sweeping in, just making sure you guys don't kill each other. It's not to get too political, but when a new superpower or trying to be a superpower like North Korea or something tries to make a nuke or builds nuclear technology, we all just freak out. And so I guarantee you we're sending secret spy drones over their area and making sure they don't have a nuke.
Well, that's how Starfleet works in Star Trek.
They're decommissioning nukes?
Well, no, that's how they rather than setting up a nuclear weapon, whenever someone develops warp drive, that's when suddenly they're like, oh, we have to deal with them now.
They can break the prime directive once someone invents warp drive because they're smart enough to talk to them, I guess.
Unless they're huge dickwads.
Yeah, and then they just totally destroy them.
Yeah, it's like that. That's how it is.
Okay, we just explained to you world politics
and universal
and
politics.
how the UN works. The UN is Starfleet?
The UN is Starfleet.
Except because they're not supposed to kill, right? The UN can't kill.
They can accidentally kill.
If you're a jerk, I mean, it's like...
So if we could get phaser technology, we should just give the UN phasers and more uniforms.
And we'll be in the Star Trek universe.
Be in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
There are plenty of good examples of high-ranking military officials, former astronauts, all kind of saying... either in their prime or now when they're older and possibly more senile, this was a problem. There's another one called the 1947 Twinning Memo, where a man named General Nathan Twinning, who was head of the U.S. Air Material Command, wrote a letter to the Air Force General George Shuling, and just basically those things are real weird. We should... those are not normal. The way they move...
That's real weird, you goddamn...
Yeah, he said it could be a phenomenon like as meteors, but he also said, quote... The responding operating characteristics such as extreme rates of climb, maneuverability, particularly in the roll, and action, which must be considered evasive when sighted, lend belief to the possibility that some of the objects are controlled either manually, automatically, or remotely. So he's basically saying, something out there is beyond our technology. Mm-hmm. What's going on? That's kind of gives you chills, right?
Yeah.
Even the governor of Arizona admitted to the Phoenix Lights when those first came out. He was like, haha. They made a big joke. They brought a guy in an alien suit into their town meeting.
Wait, what are the Phoenix Lights?
The Phoenix Lights were one of the biggest mass sightings of a UFO ever recorded, and it happened in Phoenix, Arizona. The whole city saw a triangle-shaped lights UFOs. Yeah. And the governor, they actually had to have an official meeting with the governor, and the governor literally brought out a dude in an alien suit.
Don't get him too close to me, please.
In the alien costume, the governor's chief of staff
was like, you guys take this too seriously, and everyone was like, what the hell?
That's totally the way to blow it off.
He blew it off, but
you
then,
guys are idiots.
As soon as he was out of
more questions.
as soon as he was out of office, he admitted to like not knowing what it was. There's you can look it up on YouTube.
If you had been here 10 years ago and standing out here and looking up there at the lights and the view, you would have been astounded. You would have been amazed.
Governor Simonton is referring to what is now known as the Phoenix Lights, an object videotaped by many and seen by thousands over several nights in the Arizona sky in 1997.
He was like, I don't know what it was when he admits it.
And I suspect that unless the Defense Department proves us otherwise, that it was probably some form of an alien spacecraft.
And it was massive.
More government officials should do that for like when they need to blow off a controversy.
Just bring someone out in a costume.
Just bring someone out in a goofy dime store rental costume.
Like if we're accusing, like let's say we're accusing like Obama of unwarranted drone strikes in a region, he just comes out for his like press conference and just starts throwing like paper planes across the conference rooms. Like,
and then there's a guy in like a drone outfit, like buzz, with a drone.
With a little smile on his face.
You guys think these are drones are about? Yeah, pretty funny. And then everyone just laughs for about 5 minutes, and then one guy in the back's like, "What about the question?" And they,
that's it.
You can hear when the governor brings out the like costumes at you, like 3 people are like, "Ha ha," and everyone else is like, "Excuse me,"
just mocking them.
You have to watch it. It's offensive.
Speaking of unidentified lights, I feel like now is as good a time as any to discuss sort of the granddaddy of them all, which is Area 51.
Sure.
Because obviously...
The video game.
Yes. The fantastic video game, shooter, arcade cabinet.
Don't shoot the topless stars, people who are fighting with you, you lose a life.
You lose a life and you don't get whatever power-up they're going to toss you.
Yeah, totally.
Welcome to the Area 51 Cabinet Video Game Podcast. Area 51, the legend, obviously, is that aliens crash land in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. The U.S. government, fresh off of World War II, has no idea what to do with it, so they just ship it off to the nearest military base, which happens to be in Groom Lake, Nevada, which later becomes known as Area 51, never officially acknowledged by the government. In the 30 or 40 years hence, strange sightings of lights and bizarre things in the sky nearby have been cited and reported and built this huge, massive sort of conspiracy around all the things that's going on there. Only recently has it started to come out that there really was stuff going on in Area 51, but it wasn't necessarily alien contact, but it was a hub of flight technology that they were doing, like drones.
Yeah, where are we going to have, like, we're going to have a space where we're keeping all of our, like, coolest shit somewhere. Like, when we're trying to build the hoverboard and weaponize it,
they probably have a hoverboard at Area 51 right
They
now.
probably have nothing to have like a cool like 10 by 10 metal platform where they have like a magnet board and you can just ride it around. And on Fridays, everyone takes a half day and just rides the magnet board, like at Area 51.
But it's on record, like these have been declassified, that drone technology that we have today, that's like, wow, what an amazing plane that flies itself and can stay up for hours at a time. That was developed in Area 51 in like 1971.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only gradually gotten to the point where people can talk about it and acknowledge, like, wow, this came out of nowhere. Like, nope, we've had it for 40 years.
Or not even like drones and the types of like the plane models. If the fact that Amazon is working on hovering remote controlled drones that'll drop you off your pizza or shoes that you bought,
that was
I guarantee the government has
like
a bigger, better version of that with guns on it. The government's tried to just like make
put guns on them,
a floating like gun platform that can just fly into a territory.
I'm sure that exists. I think I've seen that actually. I saw video footage of a guy who had like a platform that would just like rise up and there's just like a rifleman on it.
It's just like a sniper tower.
Yeah, it was just like a floating sniper tower, basically.
It's crazy because my grandpa, who's actually my step grandpa, but I call him my pappy. He worked for Skunk Works.
The Skunk Works, where we tested our aircraft, commonly known as Area 51,
which is the people that made
for Lockheed
stealth.
Martin.
He worked for Lockheed Martin, and he worked at Area 51. He flew out, worked there, and according to him, he's told me it's just like any other military base. And I'm like, all right,
sure.
Okay.
And he winks at you as he says it.
No, I mean, they're probably doing, like you said, flight technology. I mean, it's just like a military base. So like, and now it's been out, like Russians have posted pictures of it. Like everyone knows it's there. The flights that leave for Area 51 leave from the Las Vegas airport. Who knows? I guess the guy who ran Lockheed Martin was giving a lecture at UCLA, and he was talking about the technology that they had as Lockheed Martin. The guy during the lecture said to this whole lecture room, we now have the means to take E.T. home. To this whole, he said it on record to a whole lecture room full of people at UCLA.
So he's basically, we have an ion engine.
And so like some people like walked up to him and were like, excuse me? Like, I'm not sure what that means. And he was like, we have the technology, like we figured it out. And that's
we can do
and
it.
I didn't say like you meant like we have a warp
we have-
core.
No,
We have
like he
light
said
speed
this. Like he said this to a room full of people, and it's like,
Wow.
what does that even mean? Like, oh, do we have like drones going to take
Like,
ET
did we
home?
invent it,
Like,
or he's like, we've captured it?
Did he mean
I
like a
don't know.
euphemism of like
I
we
think-
can now fuck
I don't-
ET? Like
I don't
that
know.
kind of.
I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of scary. It's like, what did he
is.
mean by that? Like, it's
really
crazy.
fascinating. But Skunk Works, obviously the original Skunk Works was Lockheed Martin
Yeah.
at Area 51.
Can we talk about why is it called Skunk Works? Why is it
I
like-
actually know the answer to this. It was
Okay.
because in the old comic strip Little Abner, on the outskirts of the town that Little Abner lived in, there was like an old bottle factory called Skunk Works. And so in the 50s, the people had to come up with a name for this warehouse where they could do whatever they want, unfettered by government regulation, just for the sheer purpose of advancing technology. They were like, wouldn't it be funny if we called it Skunk Works?
That's crazy.
And then
Just
apparently...
a fan of Little Abner.
And then apparently the creator of Little Abner found out about this and politely asked them not to use the word Skunk Works, and so they changed to Skunk Works.
crazy.
Metallica not wanting their music to be used for torture.
Oh my god.
Little Abner not wanting.
Little Abner
No,
not wanting to be associated with UFO technology.
yeah, pretty much the exact same thing.
The huge.
My pappy has a little skunk.
Yeah,
from
that's
when he
the
worked
logo.
He has a little. Well, he has like a little. They have a little stuffed skunk. He has it
Yeah.
like on his desk.
That's
And
awesome.
Yeah.
The least futuristic animal you'd think
I know,
of.
I know.
Like just to be a symbol of progress and advancement in technology.
So you were talking to your grandpa, but he would say like, "Oh, we just did stuff there," but he would never get into any specifics.
No. He's a lovely person and very tight-lipped.
Do you think that there are people who are going into the NASA and just like aerospace and that sort of thing, where they're going in skeptical and then they're convinced that aliens exist? Or do you think that if you're into the idea of space and life out there, that propels you into that career as well? Because there's a long list of astronauts and former workers, like I was saying, that all kind of have like quotes attributed to them of, yeah, that's probably a thing. They're probably out there. There's like things we've seen that we don't know about.
I don't think it's an outrageous statement to say that it's entirely likely there's life elsewhere in the universe, possibly in our own solar system. Not on Mars, because that's probably a dead planet.
No, but the fact that there are astronauts who have I think I saw something one time, or like there's weird stuff out in space, and then everyone. The problem is a lot of their quotes is when they're 90, and everyone just kind of chalks it up to being
and they're like,
senile.
"Oh yeah, well there was this one time that I had like nitrous bubbles in my brain while I was being exposed to radiation."
Yeah.
Oh god.
Flying,
And I'm pretty sure I saw a spaceship.
pretty sure I saw a spaceship.
I was like, why couldn't you have said that when you were 45? Get it out there then.
There's a lot of stories of aliens coming around in the last 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, whatever. But I found a story that would suggest that aliens have maybe been here much longer than any of us thought.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Ancient alien theorist.
We are going to go into ancient aliens, but this is a specific instance of an artifact that's been circling our planet for the past 13,000 years, called the Black Knight satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Stories say that up there in the blackness right now, just outside of the Earth's glow, it tumbles slowly and deliberately through the darkness, sweeping smoothly along its unrelenting orbit. The Earth spins below, largely unaware of its unauthorized parasitic visitor. It is the Black Knight satellite.
Did you write this?
No.
Okay.
A mysterious object circling the Earth, of unknown and possibly alien origin. The story says it's up there right now and has been for 13,000 years.
Wait, it's a story, or is there proof of it? Because I've seen a photo of the Black Knight.
So-
Is it a mock-up?
I'll show you a photo right now. We're going to tweet this out as well. But this is the Black Knight satellite. This was
that's
taken,
not okay.
This was taken by the Endeavour. NASA has claimed that it's just a bit of space debris.
Oh,
Of course.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it looks so ominous. It looks like something from a Transformers 4, where
Yeah.
a Decepticon lord is just slumbering in there
It
above.
definitely looks
And
like
when Megatron activates it comes out and it's Omicron. Sorry.
Yeah, that's-
it's
I do not like things
No,
like that.
it
It makes
looks
me
like a
very
reaver ship.
uncomfortable.
Like so many stories of weird phenomena, the Black Knight satellite legend started with Nikola Tesla.
God damn it, Tesla.
It's said that he picked up a repeating radio signal in 1899 that he believed was coming from space and said so publicly at a conference. In the 1920s, amateur ham radio operators were able to receive this same signal. Next, scientists in Oslo, Norway were experimenting with shortwave transmissions in 1928 when they began picking up long delay echoes, or LDEs, a not fully understood phenomenon in which they received echoes several times after this emission coming from space.
Okay.
The apparent explanation finally came in 1954 when newspapers, including the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the San Francisco Examiner, reported an announcement from the U.S. Air Force that 2 satellites were found to be orbiting Earth at a time when no nation yet had the ability to launch them.
Wait, what, besides the Black Knight, what's the other one? There's 2 of them.
I don't know. This is just part of the lore. There might be a White Knight somewhere.
Oh.
So basically, before we even had Sputnik, they were receiving signals from Earth, and they were like, did somebody else launch these? Where'd these come from?
I'm trying to think of,
From
I guess it would be
out-
other debris, but orbiting our planet. But usually you need something else to be broken up, like in orbit, to have debris just floating, right? It's not crashing into us.
Yeah, there's a ton of space junk circling our planet right now.
Yeah, because of
all
like
the shit
failed
we've shot up there.
launches and yeah.
But in 1954, we hadn't sent anything up yet, and we were already getting signals from a satellite, apparently. By 1960, a radar screen designed by the U.S. Navy to detect enemy spy satellites had picked something up. It was described as a dark, tumbling object. It wasn't ours, and it wasn't the Soviets either. Orbiting about 79 degrees off from the equator, not the 90 degrees of a proper polar orbit. So it was like kind of like zigzagging at a weird.
It was
artificial angle.
evading our sensors, is what you're saying.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
it was like trying to dodge.
In 1963, speaking of astronaut sightings, astronaut Gordon Cooper reported seeing a greenish UFO during his 15th orbit aboard Mercury 9. Right around where the trajectory of the Black Knight would be. An official explanation given later was that Cooper's electronics malfunctioned and he breathed in too much CO2, which gave him hallucinations.
Of course.
But Black Knight's reality seemed to be undeniable. And then in 1973, Scottish researcher Duncan Lunan, we went back to the Norwegian scientist LDE data and analyzed it. He discovered that it was a star chart pointing the way to Epsilon Bootis, a double star in the constellation of Bootis.
Wait, I'm sorry. What is a star chart?
It's exactly what it sounds like, a map to the stars.
No. The satellite is a star chart?
He decoded the signals that were scientists in the 20s, and it was a star chart pointing to Epsilon Bootis.
What did he run
binary
it
star
through? Like
system.
his speakers, and it just came back and just had
speakers.
destiny?
He analyzed it with his technology.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. It sounds great.
Whatever Black Knight was, it appeared to be transmitting an invitation from the people of Epsilon Bootis, an invitation that was 12,600 years old, according to Lunan's analysis.
What's going on now? What's happening with it now?
The final piece of proof came in 1998 when the Space Shuttle Endeavour made its first flight to the International Space Station on flight STS-88. Astronauts aboard the Endeavour took many photographs of a strange object, which were widely available to the public on the NASA website. But soon the photographs all disappeared. They reappeared sometime later with new URLs and with various descriptions discrediting them as debris and space
And they just
junk.
photoshopped the Black Knight satellite into like a hot dog or something. Just like-
Clearly fake. The photographs were of high quality and unmistakably showed some kind of craft.
what? So it's just up there now.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Even more mysterious, no one anywhere seems to know where the name Black Knight came from. We just began calling it that, as if it was
As
called
if the
that
aliens
all along.
wanted us to always call it that. I mean, like, that's something we could send someone up there to check. Like, we could go to that.
But the people who would do that don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, they probably have.
They
like,
haven't-
if they had, like they.
And they're
not
now
gonna
part
tell
of the
us.
Black Knight
What are they
Collective.
gonna do? They're gonna go up there and be like, "Yep, this is a creepy alien probe." We probably shouldn't tell everyone about it because that's really, really scary.
It felt very Arthur C. Clarke to me. Very like 2001 obelisk-y.
Oh, I hate that stuff. That's like an actual irrational fear that I have.
Yeah,
like,
that-
I grew
that
up
would be mutated
having an irrational fear of monolithic aliens that make loud, low-pitched noises. It's the truth.
I, as a soundtrack that goes, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Is it visible from Earth? Like, can I get a super high-powered satellite somehow and see it?
My guess is no. If it's as small as it is, I don't think you can see like space shuttles from Earth, so you probably won't be able to see the black obelisk. Plus, it's black against black; it'd be kind of hard.
God damn, they're so
And I don't
smart.
think
Those
they're-
aliens are goddamn so
so
smart.
smart.
They knew we wouldn't be able to see it.
We're like, well, let's make it black so that no one can see it.
That's their big stealth technology.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll paint it black.
UFOs aren't invisible; they're just painted with the sky underneath it.
I mean, this is obviously reaching. It does look like it also could just be a spaceship. Like the way it just like when you look at like stealth bombers and how it's just kind of angular and kind of a plane shape, with just like points. The Black Knight kind of looks like that. Or like, yeah, I can see that being like an engine in the back. And
So I just find it really interesting that it's supposedly been around for 13,000 years, you know, well before we had the means to even identify any of these radio signals.
I want to know more about how this guy translated the signal. It's sending a signal.
It's sending a signal from Epsilon Bootis,
The sheer fact that it's sending a signal means
a
that
star
it's...
chart about Epsilon.
All right, so
Bootis
even
to us.
if you couldn't decipher it, because I'm a little skeptical of this guy just knowing how to decipher a signal.
Yeah.
Knowing whatever the codec, like whatever that is, I don't know how the signals work. So, like, do you just run it through like Winamp and it comes back as a signal?
It's like how Aphex Twin. It's like how Aphex Twin in his songs like puts his face in there. It's like that.
Okay.
But he puts a star chart to Epsilon.
The
Bootis.
fact that even if we couldn't decipher it, that there's an object sending a signal, like if it was just a rock,
yeah,
it wouldn't be sending a signal. Rocks don't do that.
No, they don't.
I know what rocks do,
but Black Knights do.
Wouldn't like SETI pick it up? Like, wouldn't SETI be like?
SETI must be in on it.
I mean, because they got the WOW signal. Like SETI's like gotten a signal before. They're like getting a signal, and they're like, "This isn't a satellite. This is a rock."
I feel like the WOW signal is just a bone that the shadow government threw. like give them something. All right, then give him the WOW signal.
How big is the Black Knight in size? Did you already say that? I mean, just trying to get a ballpark of like how many ancient aliens are asleep in there waiting to kill us.
It's kind of hard to tell. It's between the size of like a person in a space shuttle. There are a lot of theories, obviously, as to what it is. One of my favorite ones is 13,000 years ago, what was the most prominent civilization?
Jesus civilization.
Probably Egypt. Right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But then like a few thousand years after that, probably the Mayans, right? There's a theory that the Black Knight satellite is in fact not of extraterrestrial origin, but instead is a rocket ship that was built by the Mayans.
No, that's even more ridiculous.
Just hanging with me here. It's called the Pakal spacecraft, and it's illustrated actually on the sarcophagus of King Pakal, a Mayan king.
What, the shape of the Black Knight is?
Him riding the spaceship.
That is a stretch. That is a stretch.
There it is. There's a picture of the sarcophagus there.
What? Where's the ship? That's just a dragon thing.
If I could turn it sideways, if it'll let me.
No, but I see it, but like, that's like also got a monkey face on it. It's also got a monkey face.
That's King Pakal.
It's got down there. It's adorable. That's a Paul Frank monkey, and then that's just a dragon firing it off. Listen, he's also super reclined, like he's like just chilling.
Hey,
he's going to space.
He's not going to space.
Mainstream scholars believe that the depiction of King Pakal is on a journey to the underworld, but ancient astronaut theorists believe the king is portrayed as at the seat of controls of a spacecraft and have dubbed him the Palinque astronaut. He's manipulating some controls. He has some type of breathing apparatus and a telescope in front of his face. You see his upper hand, he's manipulating controls. With lower hand, he's turning something on. The heel of his left foot is some kind of pedal. And outside of the capsule, you can see a linking flame. This is incredible. This is absolute proof of extraterrestrials.
Yeah, look at the photo. It looks like he's hanging out with a dragon on a lazy boy as fireworks go off. I guess that might be the satellite.
I was skeptical of it until I read he's sitting on the world tree, right?
Of course, the world tree, yeah.
Mayan scholars would say the world tree, it's extended into the heavens with its branches, and its roots are in the underworld, so it's a symbol of the bridge between the underworld, heaven, and earth.
Guys,
so he's riding it into the heavens.
Because what a space is the underworld.
Yeah.
I get that.
I like it.
I get that. I can see that.
And just to tie it in a little more with the Black Knight satellite, here's an awesome diagram I found of the Pakal spacecraft, the similarity.
Stop. So how would they have gotten the Black Knight into space? Like a giant slingshot, like the Flintstones?
I love the little doll of the guy going like, "Let's ride this baby."
Hi, my name's Joey.
Hi, my name's Kyle.
I'm Kim.
I'm Brian. We are all on a show called LOLJK. You can listen to us over at www.godmakespoop.com at the home feed for Explosa Magico. I don't really know what we do, and I don't think we do most times either when we start recording, but come join us.
It's a lot of fun!
Live recorded chaos. Yeah, if you like listening to people talk over each other, drinking beer, and yelling at each other, I suppose you'll have a good time with us.
All of the above.
All right, so how was Tesla connected to this? It was
he was the first one to report hearing it in 1899.
That's how did he even discuss? Like, what was he doing? Why is Tesla's an alien, right?
Like that's
no doubt.
Alien.
Well, no, seriously, if you start thinking about that, like it makes perfect sense, right? He's like might have been like a rogue alien that just like infiltrated our society and was slowly trying to bring about like really cool technology into our lives.
He was in love with pigeons. Like he was in love.
Aliens would love pigeons.
He said he loved a pigeon as he loved a woman. No joke.
Quote.
I mean, I want to mention this because there was one small mention of it. I'm sure it was mostly just because of the way of naming conventions. But one thing I found online was Tesla was also connected to aliens, and that after his death, the FBI came in and confiscated everything, right? They just took all of his shit.
Yeah.
Probably just like, we'll make this into our own technology, give it to Edison. The agency... The FBI agency that came in and took everything was called, apparently, the U.S. Office of Alien Property.
What? Is that where the death ray came from?
Maybe.
The Tesla's death ray?
Like, so, I'm sure alien does also mean just strange and unknown, but... What if it was like, we gotta lock this down, he was an alien?
Was this before or after he was flung into the future and became the head of that secret research project in the 50s? The one that's in Jersey?
Yeah. The one with the Jersey, like they made the Jersey Devil, and Tesla was also a head researcher.
Yeah.
For it. If you think more about it, Tesla as an alien is great. If you were an alien, you were like wanting to go rogue and introduce like new ideas to people, you wouldn't come in and just go, bam, hoverboard instantly. I just keep referencing hoverboard. You'd have to wean people into it so they don't kill you.
So it's sort of like a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, where a guy gets sent back in time and then has to deal with all these like medieval assholes, and he's like, "This sucks. I'm going to start inventing electricity and cars and steam engines." So it's like that, except an alien is stuck on Earth, and Earth sucks. So he's decided, I'm gonna gentrify this place.
I think we reference a Connecticut kid in King Arthur's Court every episode. I think we like keep coming back. We really like that idea.
At least twice.
I read part of Tesla's autobiography, the one that he wrote himself, and he just like talks about how he like blacked out all the time.
Wow.
He would just like get overwhelmed, black out. Like,
and then he would wake up and they're just all these.
I guess
this
the
work is done.
invention. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get that far because it was hard to read because it was, from.
He's not a writer.
Yeah, he wasn't a writer.
There is one more spooky explanation for the Black Knight.
Okay.
The Endeavour that took the photographs. Apparently, during one of the astronauts' EVAs, which is them in their little spacewalker suit.
Oh, EVA.
One of their spacewalks, a thermal blanket was lost and drifted away. Silver on one side and black on the other. So it might just be a blanket.
It's a security blanket.
It might just be a
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that a normal practice to go take your space blanket out for walks?
Yeah, it's an emergency thing.
No, wait.
It fell in the airlock or something.
Like, that's like, I don't want to go out there, it's going to be cold.
I want to have a blanket.
Like, when I'm going out to move
when
my...
you're going out into the depths of space, be sure to bring your blanket.
Yeah, that's like if we're just doing a quick scour, like, I go move my car, because it's 8 a.m. and it's cold, and I don't want to put on real clothes, I just put a blanket over me and walk out.
Put on your astronaut slanket.
Yeah, whatever astronaut that is, if that was ever a real thing.
It's a space snuggie.
Regardless of the Black Knight, that astronaut should be made fun of for being like, I'm just going to bring my slippers on and walk, when I go spacewalk across the ship.
He doesn't bother putting his whole suit on. Just throws a little thermal blanket on.
By the way, our wussy voice is always a Jewish lady.
Jewish grandma. I don't know. I don't feel like it. Oh, man. So that's the Black Knight.
Black Knight's terrifying.
Terrifying, but awesome.
NASA, they'd probably prioritize going to check out that weird, like, just do a drive-by of the weird floating black thing in space.
Someone's like, when that was super popular, to send your iPhone into space, just went too far and just, like, shot into the atmosphere.
Wait. People were sending their iPhones into space?
Yeah, there was just, like, the whole thing where people were, like, shooting their iPhones into space and recording them in space.
Weather balloons.
I thought you meant like they were like, I'm done with this iPhone, and they just fired it off when they were done with it.
like Hunter S. Thompson type shit. Yeah. Like, I'm going out with a bang.
They're like, goodbye, iPhone 3. And there's nowhere to get. No one will take it, so you just fire it on a ship.
Into the sun.
Into the sun.
No one's getting my contacts.
Holly, what do you got? Like, do you have some like personal stories?
Yeah, I've got some growing up alien stories that are pretty good.
Ooh, please.
Personal account.
Pretty spooky.
You don't have to do a spooky voice if you don't want to.
Oh, okay.
But you can. You should. You should
like
totally
you're
try
encouraged.
it.
Well, I preface this with, like, who knows? People that told me these stories could be crazy, but I grew up with them, so there's no reason for them to lie to me.
Okay.
So my mom used to tell me the story when I was a kid. When she was growing up, she used to get nosebleeds, like constant nosebleeds all the time. And when she was a kid, she had a reoccurring dream. And so she would have a dream, like, literally, like, every night. It was a reoccurring dream where she was asleep in bed and a voice in her head was telling her... There was a bright light coming through her window, and a voice in her head was telling her that everything was going to be okay. Your mom just broke her arm. And she looked outside the window and, like, the trees were moving, and her mom was walking into a bright light on the ground.
Whoa.
And she had this dream reoccurring until she hit puberty. and she had nosebleeds all the time. And then her nosebleeds and the dream like immediately stopped. So she stopped having the dream. She stopped having nosebleeds.
So she basically had a vision of almost like her mother
mom
being
abducted. Yeah. To me, I'd never heard that like trope before, the nosebleeds and all that. But then my grandma, who, you know, she had said in this dream, like, oh, don't worry, she just has a broken arm. Well, my grandma, after she died of lung cancer, and then they did like the like scan of their body or whatever, and she had like an anomalous thing on her arm, in her arm. It wasn't cancer; it was like something in her arm. Isn't that messed up?
Yeah,
crazy.
And what's also crazy is she is the wife of she was the wife of my step grandpa who you know worked for Skunk Works.
Yeah,
and they had
51.
and he told me a story, and this was from both of them, that when they used to live in the mountains, prime butt probing alien places right there. That is it. And so they were living in Lake Arrowhead, her and my pappy that worked for Skunk Works. And they were just sitting in their living room one day, just like watching TV. And suddenly, all the power went out in their house, just like done. And behind them was a big window, like facing like the open forest. And the whole back of them lit up. Just like there was something like exponentially bright was behind them, moved past their window, totally silent, just bright light. And this is out, not a street. Like
right, there's no lights out there.
There's nothing out there. Moved past their window, disappeared, and then all their power came back on.
Wow.
Just like that.
That's terrifying. That's the stuff that terrified me as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
It's so iconic to have like the farm being invaded by aliens because you're just out there isolated. So
unless they're allergic to water, and then that's super stupid.
Those signs are super scary, though.
It's so stupid.
Well, God told him that they were allergic to water.
No, swing away. The water plot is incredibly dumb.
Let's go to a planet that's entirely
made
covered
of
70% of water.
I mean, I guess if they really want to when they did say the plot of the movie is like they were like harvesting humans, like they were abducting them and dragging them away. So
yeah,
like,
but humans are 80% water.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything with them. You wouldn't even be able to touch them.
That would be like every time humans try to eat like a poisonous porcupine fish, except every single human.
Yeah, you could poison at we would have been like sushi to them, like
delicate. Maybe we were delicate sushi in the
yeah. They were basically doing the aliens and signs. We're basically like
they're doing puffer fish.
No, yeah, like deep deadliest catch crab fishermen. They were just going to like when they knew it was bad.
Oh my god,
I love that idea.
But they were trying to like they knew there was like they knew it was very deadly and dangerous. But if you get some like ripe humans, man,
I have severely underestimated the film Signs.
Yeah. If you think about it,
seeing it from that perspective, it makes a lot more sense.
It does.
They were thrill seekers.
Yeah, and they're trying to catch them alive so they can keep them fresh when they bring them back. And then they're like, there's a sushi market on their alien planet.
That's why they went after Tom Cruise. Let's get a feisty one. The story my mom could have just been a crazy kid, like who knows? But it's still a fascinating.
But I mean, there's enough alien abduction stories like that out there.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's hard to discredit.
I didn't know that. Like I was reading and like doing some other research, and I found people's accounts that were exactly the same as hers. Like exactly where they had the nosebleeds, they had the dream, and that freaked me out because she wouldn't have found those. Like she doesn't look.
Yeah, the strongest example of any alien encounter is when someone who had no chance to ever know about what aliens might be like or what they might look like has a similar experience, right?
Yeah.
Like at this point, if I were even to hallucinate an alien encounter or thought I had one, and I go, yeah, they're like giant-headed, creatures or whatever. I've seen so many movies. I've seen Mars Attacks where like those media would all influence my hallucination or whatever I thought I saw, to the point where like what you really want is you want to go to like undiscovered civilizations,
like tribal culture,
people, and be like, have you ever seen a weird thing in space? And if they draw the thing that looks like what we always saw too, that's what backs it up all.
Well, here's an interesting theory that I heard once that made some sense to me. I'm not 100% of it, but one suggestion by a brain theorist was that aliens, the classic gray alien, is the perfect predator to us, to like our lizard brains, like, big eyes and like a large, overwhelming thing.
But there's no intimidating body frame. They're always like little wafy stick men.
But it's the face. The face is what we latch onto as like, the big eyes to zero in on us, like a hawk is going to come eat us when we're little chimpanzees out on the plane. The idea is that maybe when we have an alien encounter, it might actually be our brain like having some misfire and having this predatory hallucination.
Yeah, what do you guys think about like alien physiology of what it actually would be? Because obviously we're all agreed there's life out there.
Oh yeah.
The odds are just too too overwhelmingly crazy that
I feel like I honestly think the first aliens we encounter are going to be so crazy that people would just be vomiting.
Our idea
of disgusted.
No, our idea of aliens being humanoid is mostly because sci-fi shows didn't have the budget to make
they had just
crazy
put rubber on people.
There was going to be a human with what if we put some horns on the side of him, where he has ridges on his
just put
head,
ridges on his nose.
So they're always humanoid. But other races, we're not the most perfectly evolved physical form ever. We were okay.
But there's a lot of stuff that shouldn't be there.
When you think about it, our sex organs are not protected at all. Actually, I take that back. Women's sex organs are a little bit more okay.
Yeah, but ours are all messed up. So
yeah, and they're all just just out there. Our main defense was that our human bodies grew hair to keep them protected from predators.
Slightly.
That's what body hair was for, an evolutionary thing to keep them warm, and also just in case a boar is attacking you and
and it tries to gobble on your neck.
The hair might protect you a little bit.
Ew, God, pubes.
We're not perfectly evolved, so theoretically, and also we're built around certain needs like oxygen.
I honestly think the first alien race we encounter, they're going to be completely asymmetrical. They'll probably be phasing in and out of our dimension.
Oh, God.
You won't even be able to see them. Their greeting will be to kill us and eat our brains.
That's the problem with all of our reach outs.
So crazy.
When we talked about this before, Holly, you talked about after we had it on the show, we talked about the message we sent out to alien races in previous episodes. We're all assuming that they're functioning even on the same amount of senses that we have. Sound to them, they could be like bats, where they're missing just a blind bats, but they're missing a sense. They could be sound is they've never encountered sound. I know that sounds crazy, right? But so our message just comes in and it's just the screeching, horrifying
just killing them.
thing.
It's like a disease.
Yeah,
who's sending this plague on our people?
That was totally an episode of Stargate.
Was it really?
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
really?
the sound was heard. It was stupid.
Oh.
But I think
I'm glad I could write Stargate episodes.
Yeah, I love Stargate. But anyway, I think that they'll be synthetic. Whatever race has advanced. I mean, not that I'm preaching the Reapers here or something, but any race that is advanced enough to get space travel is going to have synthetic,
probes.
Singularity type stuff. Their minds are going to be uploaded into bioorganic machines, and they're going to be so advanced that they will be synthetic. And I totally believe that.
All you can hope is that.
That's what physicist Michio Kaku actually just had an AMA on Reddit, and that was one thing that he said, that more likely than not, the first aliens we're going to see are just going to be robot probes.
Yeah, and oh man, probes. If you look up probes, they're called they're UFOs. They're a kind of UFO called probes.
Yeah.
Scary as shit ever.
Really?
Just the idea that UFO objects that seem they're searching for us.
There is look it up. They will appear over towns and not move for days. They will just sit there. They'll just sit there.
And no one's taking pot shots with a rifle at them?
No, I'm sure they are. But they're just round, square. They're square. They're just no features, just scary ass.
How many encounters like this are there? Are there a bunch of them?
Yeah, there's lots of
hovering. I mean, there was the one I dug up, which unfortunately apparently was fake. It was a Jerusalem light in 2011 that had 6 or 7 different video cameras of a giant white light floating down over the city of Jerusalem, and different cameras shooting it. I guess people are now saying that it was proven fake at some point, someone was just a really good editor and shot stuff, but it's pretty unsettling footage to see multiple perspectives at the same time of this
light ball.
Yeah, this giant light just descending and hovering over the city for a little bit of time.
That's so scary.
Aliens are going to encounter us first before we encounter them, I think, right? That's going to be
right.
Well,
they have.
Most likely.
Most likely they have.
One of my favorite theories is that, sentient humans in the grand geologic timescale have not been around for very long. We've been around, as we are today, for about 200,000 years. And the Earth is, 5.6 billion years old? The universe is 13 billion years old. So there's a much more likely chance that aliens did come, and they saw there's just a bunch of dumb dinosaurs walking around. And they're like, all right.
And how adorable is this podcast to the one guy assigned to monitoring Earth activity of the Los Angeles region is oh, those guys, they're trying.
They're trying hard.
That's what kind of blows my mind is you think about dinosaurs and you think about aliens and I totally believe in parallel evolution, which is somehow other places things evolve fairly similar, but even the weird shit that we have on this planet and have had, there's probably a planet out there with just monsters, just straight up
monsters.
just
Cronenbergian horrors.
Well, the biggest problem is going to happen is if we're definitely gonna have like a weird like probe encounter, or like a message will be sent whenever we actually make contact. Whenever like we as a civilization make contact with a civilization race. But the problem is the first time one of the aliens like lands. If you have the most like iconic idea of the ship lands on like
the White House lawn,
on the White House lawn, and like we're ready for them to come out, it's gonna come out and look like the alien from Independence Day, just like the most like scary thing in the world, even if it means peace. Like it's just gonna have like tentacles and like beady eyes and just be this giant bulk, because that's how it evolved.
Like District 9.
Yeah, and we're just gonna take pot shots at it immediately. Like one Secret Service agent will be like, "Oh fuck no!" We're just gonna take a shot.
It just says hi by shooting out spines.
Yeah, totally. It imitates and just accidentally stabs someone. Like we're going to kill it immediately and start a war with another race.
Is this glass bulletproof? No, sir.
But didn't Hawking say recently that he now believes
we should not be trying to contact
because
aliens?
Like, don't send signals.
Don't send signals, because if anyone's like, it's a matter of resources. The amount of resources it would take
in the universe,
to try to get over to us. If anyone's coming to us, it's not to like for a peace, like to send a message.
It's to
for
come
war,
harvest us.
to conquer it. Yeah. Like no one's going to spend. Think about how much energy we don't have the technology, but how much energy we'd have to expend to make it to another civilization if we knew one existed.
Yeah.
Just like the resources of like, we'll build like way stations like every 1,000 years,
people maintaining
and, like,
those.
we'll slowly make those, and then we'll get to it.
Of lives.
We would not do that until we're like, the planet Earth is doomed. We need to get.
We need to conquer another place.
We need to get somewhere. Yeah. So the more we send out messages is like when you're just driving through a bad neighborhood and you're. This is the metaphor. When you're like lost in downtown LA on Skid Row, and you're lost, and you're just like, hello, is anyone out there? And you're just like flashing all of your lights. Like, can anyone give me directions?
I'm almost out of gas.
And then there's no one there who wants to reach out. And it's like, hi, neighbor, welcome to LA. The only person who want to talk to you is like, give me your fucking car.
Give me your car. Give me your money.
Goddamn car.
I might stab you in a place that's not vital.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no police around. Why
we
would
should
there be?
bunker
because the Green
down.
Lantern Corps doesn't exist yet.
We should bunker down until we have like disintegration rays to defend ourselves, and then start like sending out messages.
Yeah. Why do you think they're watching the nukes? Because they want to make sure we can't defeat them.
Kind of getting back to like aliens visiting at times that we weren't necessarily around. Obviously, the ancient astronaut hypothesis, which we touched on a little bit earlier before, is that humans are either descendants of or creations of extraterrestrial beings who landed on Earth thousands of years ago.
Love this theory. Hit us.
And it could be like a mother culture, which is explored in that awful Indiana Jones movie that I will not speak its name, Crystal Skull. There's the idea that pyramids and Stonehenge are too complicated, and they have really elaborate star alignments that ancient cultures would not have been able to do without the help of starfaring alien creatures.
There's also like the fact that our DNA. I don't know this backed up. I keep seeing people mention that our DNA has like 20 unknown chromosomes or something, and like they're not found in any other animal on Earth. Like we probably got fucked by an alien at some point. Yeah. Like.
It is kind of discrediting our own ancestors. Like, they were too stupid to figure out what stars are.
We gotta help.
But there was one theory that I read that I wanted to talk about briefly that I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. It was proposed by Thomas Gold, who was a professor of astronomy. In 1960, he suggested a garbage theory for the origin of life, proposing that life on Earth might have spread from a pile of waste products accidentally dumped on Earth long ago by extraterrestrials.
Wait, we're trash?
We're alien trash. And then we evolved from that.
That'd be great.
I love that idea.
Like someone just carrying it out to their garbage and they just missed like a bag.
Yeah, he's like, I could take it to recycling, or I could just toss it on that planet over there.
It's like garbage from when Mars was like habited.
Yeah.
Like, they were like way more advanced civilizations.
Or alien poop, basically.
Like, Stonehenge couldn't have been built by us. Yes, it could have. I don't get the Stonehenge.
We've done it.
No, like
we've done it with cars.
Like,
a guy did it with cars.
Yeah, so even everyone's like, how could they gotten the stones on top of each other? You build a bunch of stones, and you get to the top of those, and you put the stones on, and then you move the other stones away. Like it's just like very simple. Like I think we were smart enough to understand how stairs work. Like, and we could move those things.
I don't think aliens are also going to spend their time like coming down to Earth and hovering some rocks for us. They're just like, I think you can handle that on your own.
Maybe they're the equivalent of like the misunderstood art student of the aliens.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, I just want to go to this planet and make some.
They're just
stuff.
taking a semester away. And
that's their study abroad program.
The crop circles are just like, I really feel this expresses me.
and it's ephemeral because it's going to blow away in the wind, just like all of us. I had one last little bit that I wanted to talk about. going along with evidence of aliens in the ancient past, what if the aliens did come well before humans were here, but they didn't like what they saw, so they decided to change it way back then?
Oh,
And
they're saying
that
they
is-
just fucking left. They were like,
And where I'm going with this is, did ancient aliens exterminate the dinosaurs?
Yes.
whoa, whoa.
There is a massive, which I had no idea about, theory that the KT event, the asteroid hitting Earth, wasn't an asteroid. It was UFOs flying in and nuclear
That's
bombing
so sweet.
all dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But dinosaurs are so much cooler than us.
Yeah, but they're
know.
like, what are they going to do with
And
dinosaurs?
let me just share with you the opening paragraph to this website.
Okay.
Proponents of ancient aliens have made many claims in recent years, and one of them is that extraterrestrials exterminated the dinosaurs so advanced mammals such as humans could dominate the planet. Is this theory true?
Oh, that's so cool.
Please keep reading and let's explore this intriguing possibility. That was the top.
All right.
I saw that paragraph at the top of the website, and I'm like, I'm in.
Let's follow the idea that Earth is still being seen as a potential target for like aliens to conquer later or when it's ready, right?
Yeah.
If you're scouting out Earth, you're just doing the whole like eons and eons long waiting for it to be the right planet to go into. Are you bothered by dinosaurs enough where you're like, these are going to be like too tough to conquer? Like dinosaurs are super tough. Like
Yeah.
like they could bite us.
That is kind of
Are
weird.
you
The
trying
aliens
to-
would come, they'd see these giant thunder lizards walking around, and they're like, you know what? Actually, I'd rather this hypothetical placental mammal that's living in this,
Or, yeah,
in
or
this
you just
tree
do-
bark.
you just-
I think he should run the
do
planet.
a reset on the planet and say we'll come back in a couple like million years
Yeah.
or whatever you say. We'll come back and like we'll see if they're still tough. Like we'll find back whenever involved.
So there's actually some evidence that people have put forth that
Oh, man.
supports this. So listen to some of this. It's compelling. The evidence provided by these ET enthusiasts is that many dinosaur fossils contain the element iridium, which is true, which has been found in abundance in the strata created at the time of the KT extinction. The KT boundary is the geological strata
Sure.
that is on the entire Earth. If you dig down deep enough, you get to exactly 65 million years ago, there's this centimeter-wide clay that is filled with like this highly radioactive substance.
And it's super delicious too. It's like chocolate ice cream.
It
cake.
is.
Super good.
And that's left from when the meteor hit Earth and then spread it across and just peppered it with this radioactive iridium. Many dinosaur bones are coated in this iridium stuff right around that time. Bear in mind, nuclear bombs contain iridium-192. They also say many dinosaur fossils are radioactive, which is also true. In fact, dinosaur fossils are often covered with lead paint to protect people from radiation when they harvest them in the field. Many fossils, particularly ones in North America, have been found in or near uranium deposits. Many scientists think that at least some of this radioactivity could have come from a gamma ray burst or a GRB. For that matter, couldn't a GRB have wiped out the dinosaurs? And couldn't these aliens have initiated such a burst? Who's to say?
Okay, I love the idea that aliens said, like, this planet's not good, let's hit a reset button and we'll come back, right? Like, you'd probably
Yeah.
be doing that. You'd probably have, like,
That's
a
kind of
scouting
what
vessel that
Prometheus
just
was like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess who
Ish.
knows what the hell he was planning with that
Yeah.
plot. But like the idea, like aliens were just going and like priming planets to be ready long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Like much more in the future.
Yeah.
And I go like these dinosaurs either are going to get too evolved, which is totally the plot of Super Mario Brothers, the movie. The
Oh my
dinosaurs,
God, yes,
the
yes.
dinosaurs that kept evolving, they would have been like super deadly and
Yeah.
smart and intelligent as us, but there would have been terrible thunder lizards.
Yeah.
So like we need to not have this happen. So they set the reset button. Like we'll swing back around and like. Yeah, I don't know. At some point, we'll come back and see if they're still doing
See if
okay.
they're doing
Like,
the
who
thing.
knows what they would have, like, dinosaurs would have evolved into? I mean,
God, that'd been
like,
so cool.
I mean,
They may not have been intelligent.
No, I don't think that they, like, maybe the aliens were like, these things are just going to get stupider and meaner, so
Yeah.
we're just going to try and fix it.
Let's have this little rat thing take over.
And that's
See
another
how
thing to
that
think
one
about for
goes.
like another alien race that might be out there. They might not be intelligent. They might just be like we say monsters, invisible. They might just be carnivorous beast planet where it's just
It could be just like
the most
logo.
savage things in the world just hunting each other. And everything's evolved to just be, if one of them was on Earth, it would just kill all of us. But the point about the idea that if aliens did reset, that either means they're coming back to
Say hi.
say hi or like do the
Enslave
reset
us.
button again, or if they've like dinosaurs weren't good enough, like what makes us good enough to not get the astronaut wipeout again?
That's true. We have to prove ourselves to our alien benefactors.
Maybe they're just raising us as labor. Just eventually,
They might be.
they're going to come in and just sweep us all up and put us in alien.
If they are,
camps.
they should really stop us because in our current evolution state, we're just going to be like jelly sacks.
So maybe there was a humanoid dinosaur race
Again, Super Mario Brothers the movie.
that the aliens came and were like, we don't like you guys, just bomb them, not really thinking about the mammals that
Yeah.
might survive. So maybe there was already an alien invasion and they took everything they wanted and left, and then we're the leftovers.
Maybe, yeah.
It is weird when I think about it that we've had one big asteroid that wiped out life. Like, we haven't had another one.
We've had a few major extinction events.
But when you say we're due for another one, it's kind of crazy, right? That we haven't had another one since. Like, there's always the news, like, every couple of months, like, meteorite just swinging by, misses by a mile.
Yeah.
Or there's one coming, but it burned up in the atmosphere that night. Like, cool.
I feel like most
That's
social
awesome.
policy is like, we're all going to be doomed anyway, but not in my lifetime. And that's how
But it
people
seems like
conduct
we're
their
just
lives.
due for any day a meteorite could just be coming our way. And like, yeah.
Well, that's all I had.
That's all I get.
That sounds like some bus stop ranting to me.
That sounded a bit like a bus stop rant.
I would love that.
I think on that, I'm fine with ending on that note. I think we talked a lot of great alien stuff.
Yeah. Holly, you probably have more stories, but we can always save it for another time if you want to come back. Unless you had some other one you want to really drop.
Oh no, I'm good. I've had a blast. Good alien stories from all of us.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode 999 of Paranoia Shop, with very special guest Holly Conrad.
Holly, thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me. It was awesome. I hope I wasn't too like ranting at the bus stop for everyone.
No, you're great.
That's what this show is. This whole show is the bus stop rant of the soul.
Holly, where can they find you? If
Where can we find
someone doesn't
you?
know where you're at on the internet,
Yeah,
which is probably unlikely
plug your
because you're
plugs.
bigger than any of us.
Stop it. I am at Holly Conrad on Twitter and at crabcatindustries.com for Crabcat and youtube.com/Commander Holly for my vlogs where I talk about things that are just super random and
Cool.
people listen to it.
And
But-
also, you have other things on
Yes.
the horizon.
Yeah, there will
very
be-
exciting that
there
we'll
will be
talk
other-
about. Find them on her blog coming soon.
Yeah, exactly.
You can find me at Good Aaron, or you can find us at Paranoia Shop, SHOPPE. You can also email us at paranoiashop@gmail.com. Also, be sure to check out all the other Exploso Magico podcasts.
And thanks so much for everyone who's been tweeting at the show. We had a lot of cool feedback, and everyone at Paranoia Shop, Almighty Corks, El Rebel Day, Junk Fed, Prince Mono, like so many awesome people
Anthony
tweeting at us
Root.
with your suggestions for episodes. We'd love to cover all of them. We have a bunch of cool ideas for future episodes. But anyway, again, you can also follow me on at Quantum Theory. Guys, thanks for listening.
We could go out on another little bus stop rant if you want.
Yeah, do you got one?
good.
I do. I got a bus stop rant
Cool.
locked and loaded in the queue. A closing statement, a warning to all Earthlings. Care of a website that claims to be an imaginary ninth-dimensional architectural space throughout individual members' offices.
Wait, what?
I don't know, man. That's what it said.
What?
The Dogon people tried to warn us. We ignored them. The Roswell incident should have alerted us. We laughed. The invasion of the body snatchers we mistook for entertainment. ... The facts so far. The planet Sirius has an evil twin. Creatures from that planet have lived among us for 50 years. Those aliens have probed, experimented, kidnapped, and cloned humans. They have the ability to assume the outer appearance of matter, to take the form of anything they want. They are true chameleons that have infected the highest levels of power in USA, Great Britain, and Australia. Bush, Blair, and Howard are among the millions infected. These creatures we refer to as the Hollow Men. Their aim, to replace humans on Earth. Their plan, to begin a third world war so that most humans will wipe themselves out, leaving the planet vacant for their waiting colonists, just like the dinosaurs. The evidence. Many people have risked their life to spread the word, to warn us, but did we listen? No. We scoffed, we ridiculed, we jeered. Many of the people who worked on films like The Invasion of the Body Snatchers are now dead. That's
The
my favorite
dinosaurs
part.
tried to warn us.
That's my favorite part. Many of the people who worked on films like Invasion of the Body Snatchers are now dead.
This person doesn't have enough problems in their life.
Triceratops tried to warn us.
No, Triceratops! With great risk to our own safety, we have intercepted one of the prayer transmissions. Listen carefully. Don't be alarmed. The end.
It's great.
I'm so alarmed.
I am very alarmed. Thanks for listening, folks. Take me away, alien dino killers. Take me away.
information, please visit explosamagico.com.